Here the headline reads, "The Basic Lines of Contention on the Disputatious question regarding who started what," and the body reads as follows. "Physical graffiti," said the giraffe. "I agree," said the snake. "Oh, good, here we go. Again," said the one with a grin. "Let us begin. Let us begin not with the fight, but with the show, not with the accusation, but with the posture, not with the wound, but with the skin, for this is a tale of surface and display, of appearance, of design." The giraffe begins, not with a question or a challenge, but with a boast, veiled though it may be in metaphor. "Physical graffiti," said the giraffe. Let us suppose that the giraffe is speaking not of others, but of himself, that he is the wall, that he is the art, that his skin, patterned with blotched patches of rust, ochre, cream, and coal, is not simply an evolutionary adornment, but a kind of natural mural, a masterpiece of form and function, evidence of divine flair, or, at the very least, a proud mistake of nature that somehow became glorious. Yes, physical graffiti, as though his own beauty were not simply natural, but transcendentally authored, etched by some celestial hand, or perhaps even by his own. The giraffe here is indulging in aesthetic self-awareness. He is admiring his own form, speaking his own significance aloud, naming his appearance not just as body, but as message. But what message? Here begins the trouble. First, the statement of hubris. Physical graffiti, he says. Not just pattern, not coat, not camouflage. No, he uses a word charged with art, defiance, urban rebellion, mythos. Graffiti is not a neutral term. It is an active claim, of identity, of territorial declaration. To call his own body graffiti is to cast himself as the artist and the artwork, both. It is to elevate the skin beyond flesh. It is to say, look at me. I have been marked by something greater, and I carry it with me. In the old stories, this is where trouble begins, with the one who lifts his eyes to the mirror and sees not a creature, but a god. And perhaps the giraffe has earned his pride, towering above the plains, elegant in movement, untouchable by most predators. He is a quiet sovereign. And now he speaks of his own majesty. But in the wild, every boast is a signal, every shine a lure, and every height a beacon for the fall. Second, the snake's agreement, hidden teeth. Enter the snake. "I agree," said the snake. Now, this sentence carries more than affirmation. It carries calculation, because unlike the giraffe, the snake does not boast. He does not speak in metaphors, nor lift his head to the sky. He remains low, close to the earth, moving with silence and skill. But he too is marked. The snake's skin, winding and scaled, carries beauty no less than the giraffe's. But his markings serve a different purpose. Where the giraffe's patterns announce, the snake's conceal. His graffiti is camouflage, a disappearing act, a mask, a seduction. To agree, then, is to acknowledge the shared truth of being marked, but it is also to imply something deeper. You may be proud of what shows. I am proud of what hides, and it is precisely because he hides that he can strike. This is the essence of subtlety, the beauty that does not declare but waits, the elegance of the unseen, the artistry of the ambush. And here, beneath the giraffe's lofty phrase, the snake slides, saying with a hiss and not a trumpet, "Yes, I too am beautiful, and my beauty is my blade." He waits, the giraffe preening, and somewhere in the tall grass the fangs begin to whet. Third, the one with a grin, the witness of the cycle. Then comes the final voice. "Oh, good. Here we go again," said the one with a grin. Not just a third voice, but a witness of repetition. The grin here is not joy. It is weariness, or maybe bitter humor. It is the smirk of one who has seen beauty become vanity, and vanity draw blood. This one, this grinning one, is the memory keeper. They have seen this before. The tall grow proud. The low lie in wait. The boast becomes bait. The hidden becomes the harm. And then the cry goes up, "Who started it?" The giraffe will say, "He bit me." The snake will say, "He stood above me and called it beauty." The grinner will say, "It always begins this way." Fourth, on Beauty in the Fall, this fragment is not just a story, it is a warning, a parable without a moral, except the one you feel in your bones as the story ends the way it always does, with someone wounded and someone grinning and someone gone. And it is precisely because he hides that he can strike. This is the essence of subtlety, the beauty that does not declare, but waits, the elegance of the unseen, the artistry of the ambush, and here, beneath the giraffe's lofty phrase, the snake slides, saying with a hiss and not a trumpet, "Yes, I too am beautiful, and my beauty is my blade." He waits, the giraffe preening, and somewhere in the tall grass the fangs begin to whet. Third, the one with a grin, the witness of the cycle. Then comes the final voice. "Oh, good. Here we go again," said the one with a grin. Not just a third voice, but a witness of repetition. The grin here is not joy, it is weariness, or maybe bitter humor. It is the smirk of one who has seen beauty become vanity, and vanity draw blood. There is a long tradition, older than the book of Proverbs and as old as Eden, of beauty becoming a curse when self-admired. Lucifer fell not because he was ugly, but because he saw himself as beautiful and thought it meant he need not bow. Narcissus perished, not because he was unworthy of love, but because he could not stop loving the reflection of himself. Even kings in golden armor draw arrows faster than those dressed in dirt. And so it is with the giraffe. He is not sinned by being beautiful, but by saying it, by turning his skin into statement, he becomes vulnerable, for every statement draws a response. And the snake with his patterned shroud has already chosen his time, not to complement, but to counterbalance. In the economy of nature, hiddenness is as powerful as radiance, and the one who remains unseen, who agrees while preparing, has always held the oldest form of power. Fifth, the logic of pride and the mechanics of fall. We live in a world that rewards display, that elevates the tall, that gives microphone and mirror to the self-assured, but beneath it all, hidden in the grasses, are the quiet ones, the ones who see, the ones who wait, the ones whose camouflage is not just clothing but strategy. Every social group has its giraffe, the one who speaks eloquently, who knows his beauty, his intelligence, his elegance, who gestures upward, upward, upward. But every group also has its snake, the one who nods, smiles, agrees, then watches, waits, and strikes when the giraffe is least aware. This fragment is not about animals. It is about us, about pride, posture, and the cost of being seen. Sixth, the repetition. Here we go again. The third voice is not optional, it is the key. Because if this were simply a story of hubris and retaliation, it would be common. What elevates it is the memory. "Here we go again," said the one with a grin. This is the moment that breaks the fourth wall. This is the voice not just of witness, but of recognition. He does not merely see what is happening, he remembers the last time, and the time before. In this way, the fragment becomes mythic, archetypal, repeating across generations. You see this in families. The gifted child, praised and confident, becomes the target of the overlooked sibling who lies in wait. You see this in politics. The polished speaker, dazzling the crowd, is undone by the quiet strategist who nods through the applause and sharpens the blade. You see this in love. The beautiful one, adored, envied, eventually betrayed by the one who agreed and then withdrew. Hubris invites correction, always. Nature allows no unchecked assent. And the one with a grin? He is the voice of wisdom, the laugh that keeps you from playing the part too easily, the reminder that the pattern has teeth. Seventh, on the nature of concealment. The snake does not announce himself. He agrees. And herein lies the danger of the concealed adversary. They do not declare their position. They affirm, they align, and they wait. In human terms, this is the smile of envy, the friend who never criticizes, the partner who never challenges, the colleague who nods until the meeting is over and then writes the report that gets you fired. There is no clearer warning than silent agreement. And yet, the proud rarely hear it. They believe they are being praised. But they are being positioned. The snake's agreement is not admiration. It is strategy. It is, in its own way, the most elegant response possible, because it lets the giraffe climb higher and higher until the fall becomes inevitable. Eighth, the lesson. What are we to learn? Not to hide, not to betray, but to see the cycle. To notice how beauty draws envy, how pride draws correction, how agreement can be a trap, and how, above all, the old pattern continues because we forget. Because each giraffe thinks his markings are different. Because each snake believes his strike will finally change the balance. Because the one with the grin grows tired of warning and eventually just watches. If there is wisdom here, it is this. Speak your beauty humbly, receive agreement cautiously, and watch for the one who grins. He knows how this ends. Ninth, the ending before the beginning. This fragment, you see, ends before the bite. We are left in the moment just before the collapse. The giraffe has spoken, the snake has agreed, the grin has flashed, and we, the readers, are left to choose, will we play it out, or will we break the pattern? Perhaps the true message is not to stop being beautiful, but to stop boasting about it. Perhaps it is not to mistrust agreement, but to test its depth. Perhaps it is not to silence the witness, but to heed the warning when he speaks. 10th, the closing thought. The disputatious question, who started what, is answered not by tracing the moment of impact, but by seeing the moment of pride. It is in the boast, not the bite, that the war begins. That's the basic line, and that's the one we cross, again and again and again, until we learn, or until the one with the grin finally stands up and walks away,